Hello, dear students. I'm really happy to be here. In this class, we are gonna learn two things. The first one is present perfect continuous, and the other is contrasting present perfect. Well, let's start with the first one, present perfect continuous. Okay, when you listen the word continuous, of course, the ing comes to your mind, and you're right. Listen, we're going to use this things in order to talk about events or situations that are in progress or events or situations that are temporary. Here I have an example. I have been studying a lot of lately, so it means a temporary situation. And what is the pattern for these things? You have to use here any personal pronoun like he, we, you, they, or if you don't want to use the third person, of course you have to use the name of the person like Pablo, Pam, anyone. Then it's mandatory to use have or has. Remember that have is for plural and has is for singular. Just to remind you, singular third person is he, she, and it. It when we were talking about something that it's a thing or an animal. Okay? Then we have being and of course the verb in ing. Remember that in order to add ing, we have some rules. For example, just to remind you, the verb sit. We should double the last consonant for one reason, because it's consonant, vowel, consonant, and we double the last consonant. And here in this case, we have the Y, and before this verb that is study, we have Y, and before we have a consonant. So it's not necessary to drop the Y and add something different. It's just in the case that you have Y and before a vowel. That just you drop the Y and add the ing. Okay, let me read the present perfect continuous example. I have been studying a lot of lately. It means that this is a temporary situation, okay? And we have different, here I'm gonna show you different examples how to use present perfect continuous. Here, first, in question, we can use any WH information question like what, where, when, who. And I can give you an example with what. Okay, my example with an information question is, what have you been doing? Okay, in an affirmative statement, I can say like this. I have been coming to class since January. Okay. My example in any affirmative situation, I can say, I haven't come into class since January. Okay. In a negative statement, I can say, I haven't gone to the gym. Okay. I'm using this in, just remember, in temporary situation or events, or if the situation or the event is in progress. Here, you should just remember that you have to. It's like mandatory. You should use verb and ing. Okay, now let me explain the present perfect. Present perfect is the result or any situation or how many times we have done a situation and action. Okay, I have here my example. She has seen that movie for 3 times. All right, remember here in present perfect, you have to remember the verbs. If is don't worry if you just remember regular or irregular, but it's mandatory to remember the third form. Remember, we have the verb has the base form, past, and the verb in past participle. You should use the third form of the verb here in present perfect. Remember, here I have the verb sing. Present, si, paso, and past participle sing. That's why I'm using here the third form, that is past participle. Okay, we should use, it's mandatory to use in present perfect the third form of the verb. Like my example, I have seen that movie 3 times. Or I have another example, I have read the book. Okay, it means I finished the book. I have read the book. Here, this is the verb in the third form. Okay. What else to explain? Here in present perfect, we have some special words. Points of the time. Okay, here we are gonna use the word sings. All right, like this. Okay, look at the word sings. It's we are gonna use in points of time. For example, I have read a book since last week. I have read a book since last month. I have read a book since February. So I'm giving points of the time, okay? But if you want to use periods of time, you should use the word for. Okay, here you should use for 3 months, for 2 days, for 3 years, like this. I have lived in Quito for 4 years. Okay, I'm using periods of time. If you want to use in a negative form the period of time, you can use the word in. Okay, you're gonna, it's the same. It's the same like for. Okay, I can say I have studied at the university for 5 years, or I haven't studied university in days, in months, like this. Another example with in. I haven't been in class in 2 days. Okay, so it's a period of time, but what is the difference? You have to use just the word in negative. All right, in a period of time you have to use the word for. Okay, and sings for periods of time. Also, we have the word yet. Okay, in questions, the word yet, the use is like this. Have you seen, let me invent any movie. Have you seen it? That is the name of the movie. Have you seen it yet? Okay, I'm using the word yet in questions, all right? I'm using in questions, and the word comes at the end. Have you seen, for example, have you seen Titanic yet? If you answer it's no, you can answer no, not yet. Or if you have seen that movie or anything, you can answer yes, I have seen it. All right, so just listen how you manage, or have you used yet in negative and in questions, and also the word already. Okay, this is when you want to answer in an affirmative situation. Like I said, I have already seen that movie. I have already eaten. Okay, this is just when you have done the situation. Okay, Just remember what is the contrast about present perfect continuous, ing here, for progress or temporary situations or events. And here in present perfect, that is the result of any situation and how many times you have done things. Remember the words, remember the position of yet in negative at the end or in questions, of course, and already when you want to use things and for. Okay, guys, that's it about these things about grammar. Uh, I think that this is useful for you if you wanted to work, keep working in your book. Okay, thank you, guys.